Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. So let's cover what a brag sheet is. A brag sheet, this is a term that I made up that highlights your accomplishments. What have you done since you've been there with the company? So some examples, if you are in the teaching field, you may have given a workshop on non-confrontational classroom discipline. You had PowerPoint slides and you really had everyone's attention. It was very, very productive. And most importantly, people took what you presented in the workshop and they applied it and they saw results. Then you're able to document those results. So I'll give you an example. Let's say in one of your procedures, you talked about how basically naming and shaming is not going to work for the students. You have to deal with them in private and what you should say and so on. And a teacher who's been having consistent problems in that class, maybe 7 or 8 different types of discipline problems every single day, apply one technique in your workshop and she saw a reduction from 7 incidents down to 4. Okay, that's a reduction. So we're talking what? That's about maybe a 30 or 40% reduction in classroom incidents and discipline problems. So you can document that. So you're going to follow up. You're being purposeful with the talent and the skills that you're sharing to make your brag sheet. So you want to follow up. So you don't want to just institute a good idea or contribute something of value without following up so that you can document the success. And so throughout that time frame, the first year or whatever your contract term is, in most cases in Saudi, the first contract is normally a year. And then after that, it's every 2 years. But sometimes they'll come in on 2 years. So this gives you a window of time that you can build accomplishments. Okay. Everything from assisting in the computer lab to, whatever it is that you do that brings value. How did you bring value to the company? How did you make the school a better place? How has it become better? How has it improved since you've been there and what you've done? Now, you don't need to document dates and times and so forth, but what you did and then what the result was as a result of this action. Gave the classroom management workshop, teachers applied it, saw a 35% reduction in classroom discipline problems. As an example, I'm using teaching because that's what I'm familiar with, and anything of that nature that brings value. Okay. So that's your brag sheet. And then you use this brag sheet at the time that it comes to renegotiate your contract. So if you're at the end of your 1 year contract or your 2 year contract, when you sit down for your evaluation or to negotiate next year's contract, which you should be doing. You should not have a contract just roll over and you haven't had any type of input as to if the contract is going to go higher or lower or so forth. So you want to give the company or the school at least a month or two notice and hey, my contract's ending. I really want to sit down and discuss with you the terms of the contract. You might want to go back over some things. That's a very good time also to look at the contract again, because some things that may have been in the contract either you didn't understand or things that you accepted for the time being might need to be renegotiated. That's also a great time to renegotiate your salary and some type of pay increase. You need to be doing that. Don't be afraid that you're going to rock the boat, as they say, and possibly like be put out of a job or not renewed. Because if you've been there for the full duration of the contract, that means that they saw value in you, they needed you, and you are obviously contributing. Okay. You're going to need that raise and just even if it's just to combat for the cost of living. So things by their nature, they rise. Rents go up, food goes up, the prices in the clothing stores goes up. Everything is increasing. Your salary should be increasing, if not on the same level on par with that, it should be increasing a little bit more to combat for the cost of living. If you go to a job and you're making 10,000 real a month, 10,000 real a month doesn't buy next year what it bought you this year. It buys you a little bit less, 5% less, 10% less, 12% less. It depends on where you live. So you want to keep that brag sheet with you so you can highlight those accomplishments. And I would suggest that you start putting your irons in the fire and shipping your CV around with those accomplishments on your CV so that you can have some leverage to say, hey, I got an offer from another school. Oh, what school was it? It's not important. I got an offer from another school, and they offered me X. Okay. For example, they offered me 13,000. Okay. Now, you as a teacher have to also consider that when you're going into a new school, you have to relearn that system of that school. So it's not as easy as it may seem to jump from one school to the next. Neither one of you wants that because you have to relearn that system all over again. And some of the things you applied at the place where you're at, you might not be able to apply them at the other school. It might be a bit more restrictive or the opportunity won't present itself. So you want to make sure that you've got some kind of leverage though. I have two schools, one's offering me 12, one's offering me 13,000. I would be happy with a 1,500 real raise, a 2,000 real raise. If you could match the bottom, the lowest offer I had of 12,000, I will be satisfied with that. Okay. And I'm going to give you some contract negotiating techniques and some advice in another video. But your brag sheet is essentially a list of accomplishments that you document to show what you did, what the results were, so that you can bring them up as negotiating points for an increase in your salary at the time that your contract expires. If you got any benefit from this answer, please like and subscribe for the video. It helps the algorithm in the channel. Please download the spreadsheet that I put there to help you manage your finances. And also, I have a link down at the bottom for my Islamic wares and designs. Please support those as they help support the channel. Thank you for watching. Jazakallah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.